It started quietly, the kind of quiet that only feels calm in hindsight. Wichita, Kansas, was a typical American city in the mid-1970s. Churches on corners, kids riding bikes, doors left unlocked. Then, one morning, police walked into a house where an entire family had been killed. There was no sign of forced entry, no clear motive, just silence and shock. Weeks later, the letters arrived. They weren't apologies or confessions. They were boasts. The writer described the crimes with disturbing precision and signed them with 3 letters that would become infamous. BTK, bind, torture, kill. He demanded attention, threatened more violence, and criticized the media for not giving him enough credit. He wasn't hiding, he was performing. Over the next years, more victims were found. Different neighborhoods, different circumstances. But the same signature. The city changed. Locks were double-checked. Windows stayed shut. Police formed task forces, followed hundreds of leads, and interviewed countless suspects. Yet BTK always seemed one step ahead, watching, waiting, and then disappearing again. Then, without warning, the letter stopped. No more taunts, no more bodies. BTK vanished, leaving behind fear and unanswered questions. Many believed he was dead or imprisoned for another crime. The case went cold, but the shadow never left. Decades passed. New detectives reviewed old files, hoping modern forensics might succeed where earlier efforts failed. Then, in 2004, a letter appeared, proof that BTK was still alive and still craving attention. He mocked police, claiming he was smarter than all of them. This time, he asked a question. Could he safely send information digitally? Police answered carefully, knowing this was a trap and an opportunity. Soon after, BTK sent a floppy disk. What he didn't realize was that the disk carried hidden data. It led investigators to a church computer, and then to a name. Dennis Rader, a city compliance officer. A church council president, a husband, a father. The kind of man people trusted. Surveillance began quietly. Rader's routines were tracked. His movements matched old crime timelines. DNA taken from his daughter without her knowledge matched evidence preserved for decades. The ghost suddenly had a face. When police arrested Dennis Rader, he didn't resist. In the interrogation room, he spoke calmly, methodically, almost proudly. The man who once terrorized a city had been living an ordinary life the entire time, coaching, working, praying while hiding a monstrous secret. In court, Rader confessed in chilling detail. He didn't beg. He didn't deny. He explained. For victims' families, it was both closure and a fresh wound. The killer was finally named, but the pain didn't disappear. BTK was sentenced to life in prison, where he remains today, no longer anonymous, no longer powerful. Yet his case left behind a lasting unease, not because of how he killed, but because of how he lived. He wasn't caught by force, he was caught by ego. And that's the most haunting part of the story. For nearly 30 years, the man everyone waved at, trusted, and never questioned was the same voice that once terrorized an entire city. It makes you wonder, how many months does Dante hide in the shadows at all but stand calmly in the light, waiting to be noticed?